Hey there, sheepdoggers, and welcome to a intro type video to Rogue Trader. It's going to be a separate video from the actual Rogue Trader videos, just purely because I want to go over a few things, and I want to make sure that going in, even if you don't know Rogue Trader or Warhammer 40,000, you'll have a better idea of what's going on. Because we did have a fair few people who didn't exactly get what was happening, and you know they still enjoyed it. You know, it was very funny. It really was, but yeah, they weren't all the time sure what was going on. So we're gonna address some of those things now. Okay, so first off, the most important thing, we'll go over the characters and the characteristics and the skills and things like those, so you understand what they're about. Now, in Rogue Trader and other Warhammer 40,000 pen and paper games, the most regular thing you'll be using when you roll to test skills or whatever is a D100. And the way skills and D100s work and the skill rolls work is, for example, if you wanted to do an agility test to dodge something. If you are just using pure agility, you can see over, if you can follow my mouse here, Doc/Franz Carro's agility is 32. Now, you roll a D100. You can actually, we can do it like this, no modifier. There you see is rolling a D100 here, and he rolled a 78. Now, you'd think, you know, the higher the better, but that's not how it works in this. Because his agility is 32, he has to get under 32 on a D100. And you know, the GM can award bonuses depending on how easy or hard it is, basically modifiers. And yeah, so he failed by 46 because he rolled a 78, which means he got 4 degrees of failure. Degrees of failure are basically 10, you know, decided by 10. So if he rolled a 42, that would be 1 degree of failure. If he rolled a 12, that would be 2 degrees of success. And the GM decides, you know, how successful or unsuccessful he is, depending on the rolls. Now, let's go through, so that's kind of skill rolling, as it were. Let's go through the actual stats. So you can see here, the character sheet, you've got name Franz Carro, player Doc, wounds is basically how many wounds he can take until he's in critical shape. Fatigue, obviously, you know, how tired they are from performing actions. PR, I'm not sure about, actually, and I have not figured it out yet. I don't know. Okay, we'll come back to PR. IP is insanity points, CP is corruption points, and FP is fate points. Insanity points you get when you get scared, when things go wrong. When you're facing, you know, terrifying things, you slowly go insane in the void. Corruption points are when you get corrupted by chaos and things like that. You can actually end up mutating and all those sort of things. And fate points are very important. They are pretty much your lifeline. So if Doc didn't like that roll there, and he wanted to do it again, he can actually, he can use a fate point. So he used a fate point there. His fate point total is now 1. And he can re-roll the test. He has to accept the re-roll, and it was worse, so you know that's not good. But you can do that. We need to replenish the fate pool. Okay, there we go. So he's back to 3 fate points. Okay, so the primary characteristics, the primary stats they have are weapon skill, which is melee combat, you know, swords and anything basically you hit people with. Ballistic skill, which is shooting, you know, any kind of ranged combat, basically. Strength is obviously how strong a character is. You know, if he wants to uh, grapple someone to the floor and hold them in place and that, he's going to be using his strength. Toughness is kind of how tough they are. So the T here, toughness. And it basically means it's to do with their wounds, you know, your toughness bonus, which is level, which is the 3 there. We'll get into that in a second. Works directly towards your wounds, and it means how much damage and you can take, and you know, like if you can resist poisons and things like that. Agility is dodging and running, anything acrobatic. So the reason Esteban Throb does so badly is because his agility isn't amazing. Whenever he tries to do anything acrobatic. Intelligence obviously pertains to knowledge and things like that. Perception is seeing things. So if you wanted to see if there are any traps or anything about, you'd use perception. Willpower is how strong your mind is. So it's resistance to fear and those kind of things. And also for psychic techniques like Esteban Throb has, it pertains directly to his ability to use his psychic powers, his psi powers. And then fellowship is pretty much just things like charm and barter. You know, it's like charisma, basically. And then you've got all these other skills. Now, this may look a little bit daunting at first, but for example, you've got awareness, and then in brackets per, and in brackets a half. Now, awareness reflects your ability to perceive hidden dangers and to notice small details about your physical surroundings. You use the awareness skill to notice ambushes, spot traps, etc., etc. So if you wanted to do that, you would use that skill, no modifiers, send result to all, and you see like he rolled a 15, which is actually really good for Doc. It was still a degree of failure, but he might have managed to see something. And awareness is perception. So you see here, his perception is 31, but he's rolling and trying to get under 15. And the reason this is because you have different states of the skill. So this is a basic untrained skill. So untrained means that you use it at a half. So, you know, barter, carouse, not charm, climb, and etc. All of these will be rolling at a half of your stat. So, for example, pardon me, I'm a little bit ill. Barter is not trained. So if he wanted to negotiate deals, get better prices. Oh my god, I'm really quite ill at the moment, and it's unfortunate timing, I'm afraid. Okay, so if you want to get better prices and stuff, so his fellowship is 50, which is really good for a starting out character, but he still does it at, Jesus, again, 2 above. He still does it at half, so it's 25. I swear I'm going to sneeze again. So, yeah, when you're using these skills, like these are all the skills he has. He's got drive, common vehicle. He's got literacy, speak language, scholastic law, pilot spacecraft, common law, all these things. You know, so common law is recall the habits in institutions, traditions, public figures, and superstitions of a particular world, cultural group, or organization or race. So this one means he has knowledge of the Imperium, which is pretty much just pretty much just means that he can, you know, if he's in the Imperium and he wants to know something about the surrounding area or about a person, he can roll and see if he remembers. And it's based on intelligence. So because it's fully trained, He doesn't get any bonuses to it, but he rolls on 32. So this time he rolled with two degrees of success, rolled a 6, so 25 under. So it's you can see how that worked. And so if he was trying to remember about a planet, and I was like, well, it's in the Imperium, so roll me a common law Imperium. And he rolled that. I'd tell him pretty much everything about the planet that was important. I'd be like, yeah, it's a farming world. It's very basic. It's fairly feudal. Nothing kind of nothing dangerous to it or anything like that. It's fairly safe to go to. And then he'd go, oh, okay, well, we can go there, or etc. So yeah, like that's how the skill rolls work, and that's how the kind of ballistic and weapon skills and everything work. And a lot of it, a lot of it is fairly, especially in our starting ones. Quite often it'll be just a bit of fun. Just giving people some characteristic rolls. So we won't always be doing like really important shooting rolls. Sometimes, for example, Cubal likes to be acrobatic, even though he isn't. So if he tries to kind of, do something acrobatic, I'll make him do a what is it called? It's called acrobatics. I'll make him do an acrobatics roll, and if it works, then he succeeds, and if it fails, I tell him exactly how badly he fails. So that kind of thing can be very fun. And yeah, you've also got like talents, and it's not too important for you guys to know like their talents and everything, but their talents are here. Like this one means when he is drinking, he doesn't pass out until he's failed toughness tests equal to twice his toughness bonus. So that's a good time to go into the bonuses. So the toughness bonus here is 3. And again, like the degrees of success, it's done by 10s. So because he's 32, he's got a toughness bonus of 3. Now you can see his wounds here is 10. And what you do with your wounds is you roll a d5 and add that result to your toughness bonus times 3, I think. It's either 3 or 2. So I think it's 3. So Doc, I think, rolled a 1. So he's got 10 wounds. So that's an example. How far you can run is based on your agility bonus. So how far you can move and run and everything. So someone like Doc has very standard stats, mostly, aside from his fellowship. So he's going to be, most of the time using talking to get out things, and plan B. In the game, you'll hear him refer to Briquet as Plan B, because Pi playing Briquet Tezzerath, the Dark Eldar, is fairly fighty, shooty, and etc. So he's useful to have there. So yeah, that's the kind of basics of it. Like, we do have the map here, the Cronus Expanse, and this is what's happened since. You can't really tell much from it, so it won't really spoil much. But they're at Damaris now, which is where the first session ended. And yeah, basically what they'll do is they'll look for work, they'll travel around. What the basic setting for the story is they're on a ship, a spaceship. It's a frigate. I can actually show you guys it a little bit. It's the Obscene Halberd. It's a sword frigate, and you can see like the hull integrity, the armor, maneuverability, all these kind of things here. And you've got their weapons. They've got a dorsal shard cannon. It's a Xenotech. And they've got a dorsal Starbreaker lance as well. So when they get into combat, they'll be using those. And yeah, basically, like, the a lot of it is abstract. A lot of it is kind of using your imagination. But we do have kind of visual things because not everyone has webcams. Not everyone has the ability to be on screens. So I decided that the best way to do it, and also it's got nice framework on this map tools. So I decided it'd probably be the best way to go with it. So yeah, a couple of the guys who are playing, Tim and Kiske, these two here, they are new to pen and paper role playing. They're new to Warhammer 40,000. So they some of us are getting our kind of grip on the game, basically. And we're kind of feeling our way as it goes. So if there are bits where we make mistakes and so forth, please do feel free to let us know. But consider the fact that we are still learning and still getting to grips with the game and everything. So there may be mistakes, there may be moments where I do something wrong, or something wrong happens. Just think of it more for the entertainment value, especially starting out. Because these guys are really funny. So yeah, let's finally go over the characters. They do an introduction, but I was live streaming as well, and Kiske was live streaming. So I'll do a quick introduction to the characters before we stop the video here, and then obviously go off and watch the actual Rogue Trader video and see what you think of it. But we have Franz Carro, who is the Rogue Trader. He's kind of the captain of the ship, almost like a privateer in space. He's sanctioned by the Imperium. The Imperium is the Imperium of man. It covers kind of a huge area of the galaxy, and there's so much lore. I can't go into it too heavily. Hopefully, as time goes on, you'll pick up some lore, or you can always go and look if you don't know Warhammer 40,000. So he's kind of almost like a privateer. He can go and conquer worlds and colonize worlds, and he can do a lot with impunity. Obviously he still has to obey the laws of the Empire, of the Imperium, sorry, but he's fairly free to do what he wants, and he's very he's very charm based, and you'll see his character develop as it goes along. And then you got Brigade Tezerath, the Dark Eldar here. Dark Eldar are kind of evil version of Eldar, and Eldar are almost like space elves, to simplify it very much. And the Dark Eldar are basically they love pain, they are very sadistic, and there's a reason why Pi is on the ship. We worked out a backstory for it, and that will come out as time goes on, so I'm not going to talk about that. Esteban Throb is the astropath. He's played by Cubal. He is a psychic. He's a psyker, and he can use kind of psychic abilities. He can talk telepathically across the void, through space, from planet to planet and system to system, and etc. So he's very useful for them staying in contact and hearing news and knowing things important. If someone wants to contact them when they're out in space, they call the space telephone Esteban Throb. Then you've got Remy. Sorry, I'm really ill. Then you've got Remy Solar, played by Atomic Tim. He's a kind of part machine tech priest, which it's fairly complicated, but they worship the Omnissiah, which is a machine spirit god type thing, and they prefer machines to humans, basically, for the most part, and they're very strange, to say the least. So he's basically like the mechanic on the ship. He's he will fix things, hopefully, when they go wrong, depending on how he rolls. and yeah, that's his basic job on the ship. And then Kiske plays Tyrion Torian, and he is a seneschal. I didn't put their roles, the last two roles on there because I'm an idiot. But Tyrion is the seneschal, and the seneschal kind of deals with contracts and money and organizing things on the ship. You know, he's kind of like almost like a quartermaster, or you know, that kind of thing. So he's yeah, he does those kind of things, and you know, he helps the smooth running of the ship. And then there's me. I'm the GM, and I basically do my best to keep up with these guys as they mess about. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's as brief as I could do an introduction. I'd love to go into all the lore and everything, but just, you know, it's 40,000 years in the future, pretty much. There are loads of aliens and etc. You know, there's lots of planets that haven't been discovered yet, and they're wandering around trying to just make money and get rich and famous and find lots of cool technologies and lost civilizations and etc. And yeah, that's basically what's going to be happening. So you know, if you can, go in with an open mind, see if you like it. I hope you do. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, I hope this video helps you guys a little bit figure out what's going on. One thing I will say actually before I finish is in the actual video, you may have difficulty seeing the roles here and things like this, because when I recorded it, I hadn't quite got it set up to my satisfaction, and now it's a bit better, and you can read these more easily, like any kind of text and everything. So yeah, I apologize for that. Hopefully it's not too bad for you guys. Hopefully you'll be able to read all the everything. But from the fifth video onwards, because there are 4 videos from the last session we did, the first session. From like the 5th video onwards, you should have an easier time reading everything. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully you can live with it. So yeah, thanks for watching. The Rogue Trader video will be out in a few hours. You know, check it out, see what you think, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.